Welcome back to Wild, Wise and Curious, Embracing Our Journey, where we're excited to continue the conversation around all things peri and beyond. We'll continue to explore all our stories, challenges and importantly the wisdom we learn along the way. As usual, we'd love to chat with women just like you who might like to share your own perimenopause or post-menopause stories with us. We can't wait to chat with you. Today we're going to welcome Kelly to the podcast. Welcome to Wild, Wise and Curious, Kelly.
Right, thank you.
Thank you for joining us, Kelly.
Yeah, it's great to have you. So, as always, we start by asking our guests, how did you come to realise that you were in perimenopause?
I knew you were going to ask me this question.
Did you?
Yeah, funny enough, I have listened. But I spent a lot of time trying to work it out when it actually was, because I think it happened a bit in lockdown.
Yeah.
I seem to remember sending a list that I'd come across online to my friends and said, can anyone tick all of these off? And it was all the basic symptoms, the brain fog and all of that stuff. And they all came back to me and said, yes, that's totally me. Then I sent it to my husband and I went, I think this might be why I'm a little bit all over the place at the moment. And he came back and went, finally some answers.
Okay.
So it was already happening, but I didn't realise until I saw something online. Or it might have been around the Davina first episode.
Yep.
I don't know, it's a bit of a mishmash of memory.
Yes.
I even went through my NHS app this morning to work out when I started on my HRT.
Really?
To try and work out, it didn't go far back enough. So
Didn't
it would
it?
have been 22, 23?
22, 23. Okay.
I think.
Yeah. So did it sort of start, do you think, like, a couple of years before then? Was it a little while before you sort of decided to go on HRT, or did you go on pretty soon?
Pretty soon, actually.
Mm-hmm.
Because as soon as I realised what it was, I was like, right, I need to do something about this.
Yeah.
Because there was a lot of... I noticed it more at work.
Yeah.
My decision making, I wasn't confident in it anymore. Second guessing, questioning,
Yeah.
then anxiety kicked in, and I've never really had to deal with that. That came out of nowhere. So yeah, it was just little bits kept dropping in here and there, but it was work was the main one, because I'd been doing the same job for like 10 years.
Yeah.
So I had no reason to doubt anything I was doing was wrong. And that's what pushed me. I was like, right, I need to go. And plus, I might have been a little bit angry around that time. Kids may have got the brunt of it. Husband definitely got the brunt of it. I think there was one time when we were just standing in the kitchen talking, as you do at the end of the day, and the tone of his voice, just the tone, made me have to stop him talking and go, I'm so sorry, but the tone of your voice is going straight through me. I cannot listen to you anymore. I need to leave the room.
Wow, okay, yeah.
And how did he take that?
He was a little bit gobsmacked.
Yeah.
He sort of looked at me, gone out, as if said, oh, okay, yes, that's fine. You do that.
Is it?
We were like half laughing as well.
Yeah.
I was like, no, because it just gave me a little bit of rage, and it was just the tone of his voice, and I had to go upstairs and leave for a while and get myself back together. It's bizarre. But yeah, that, and just something, the kids would say something would never normally bother me. I'd have to go somewhere else and just get over that, have a little cry.
Yeah.
Where the hell is all this coming from?
Yeah.
So yeah, started the old HRT journey from there, and it's taken, since then, I'm still not right.
Yeah.
Definitely still not right. But better.
Yeah.
Especially at work.
Okay.
Loads better at work.
So which sort of symptoms do you think are better from taking HRT?
Definitely not got PMT all the time.
Mm-hmm.
So my short-temperedness has reduced. I mean, I think so.
Yeah.
Ask my husband and my kids. They may give you a different answer. They probably would. But yeah, that the brain fog has got better. Still forget the words.
Yes, yeah.
That's a big one. I was messaging my cousin today because she lives in Bangkok, and I was hearing on the news that the aftershocks had hit Bangkok from and that's the word I forgot.
Oh, okay.
Couldn't remember it. I kept saying hurricane. It wasn't a hurricane, it was an earthquake.
Yes.
Now I know.
Yeah.
But I was sending her the message and I was like, I heard Bangkok's being hit with the aftershocks of the... And I couldn't finish the sentence, so I just deleted off the and just left it as aftershocks. I couldn't remember the word.
It's bonkers, isn't it, when you can't reach a word? We've talked about it quite a bit, haven't we?
It is, because it's just literally on the end of your tongue. It's there. It's just there. It's just out of reach. It's inaccessible.
And it's how you come up with loads of other ones.
Yeah.
That are so close to it.
Yeah, but not quite it.
Yeah, so that's happening all the time. And I feel like that never gets better.
Okay.
I don't think any patch, gel, anything is going to put that back.
No. I don't think any of mine, that has got any better for me. But mine was the anxiety, like out of nowhere anxiety and panic attacks and like crazy thoughts and worrying about weird stuff, or, just random stuff. But all of that kind of sorted itself out when I was on HRT, started taking, I'm still on it now. But the brain fog, I still get that. And I think I say it quite a bit though. I don't know whether is it brain fog because it's brain fog and it's because of perimenopause, or is it just because we do so much bloody stuff?
Well, yeah.
And everything gets like crossed, it all gets mixed up, doesn't it?
Yeah, I was listening to podcast yesterday. Stephen Bartlett, Darius' CEO, has got oh my gosh, I've forgotten her name. Has got a doctor on there. I think it's Sarah something.
We'll find it out. We'll put it in the show notes.
But she is. This episode is really amazing. It's all about menopause, really, and she's basically saying that cortisol levels, our cortisol levels are so high that is what affects our brain. And again, that makes complete sense.
Of course, it does. Yeah, definitely does.
Is she one of the American ones? Because he's had a few.
She is, yes. I've not seen her before. I want to say it's Sarah Salazar or something like that, but I can't remember. But yeah, it's a really good episode, really meaty. She's got a lot of information in that one. But as soon as she said about the cortisol, it affects female brains and almost shrinks them. Which is worrying.
Add that to the list.
I know.
I'd still come back as a woman.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Every day of the week. So what about other symptoms? Has everything else, did you find that the anxiety and those sorts of symptoms cleared up with HRT? Or?
Yes, definitely with the HRT. I started on the patches. I had the mixed one, the progesterone and estrogen combi patch.
Okay.
And I did that for about 3 months, and then everything started coming back. So then I went on 50 Everol and then the progesterone tablets.
Yeah. So the Utrogestan.
Started on that.
Yeah.
They don't give you that anymore.
Oh, okay.
Then I went on to one called G something. It was one of the natural ones, because I always check whenever they give me them now that they're the natural ones, not the synthetic.
Yeah.
And then my last lot they've given me, never heard of it before. I've not researched that properly yet.
Okay.
So yeah, every time I get a new prescription, I get a new brand.
Oh.
So yeah, they haven't given out estrogen for a while. Not at mine anyway.
Utrogestan, the progesterone tablet. Yeah. Okay, that's bizarre. My doctor still gives me, because I'm on Utrogestan.
Really?
Yeah, because I was prescribed Utrogestan because I went through Noosan, the menopause. I don't know if you had the menopause clinic.
I'm very jealous of that.
Yeah, wow, I needed it, honestly. I was in a crazy ass.
About it myself.
It's such, for me, I just wanted someone to sit with me and listen to everything that was going on, and work with me instead of kind of just go, oh, well, you can try HRT, because I needed someone to kind of just go, oh my God, yeah, that's definitely perimenopause, or just, hear me out. So yeah, they've always prescribed me, but what they do now is my prescription comes through my GP, so I don't have to pay the private fees. I did for the first few times, because I didn't want to do it through my GP. I just wanted to keep everything boxed up with Newsom, because I felt confident there. I mean, my GP is great, but then Newsom sent my GP, they send a letter every time I had a consultation, and then my doctor started prescribing all the HRT. So I literally do the prepaid certificate. It's about £19 something a year, isn't it?
Yeah, I do.
And so obviously get my estrogen and progesterone, but I've just had a real win, because I've been paying to have testosterone, because that for me was what knocked the head on the anxiety and everything. And I've been going privately for that, and we've just managed to get my GP to prescribe it for me. So I'm like, yes, months. Wow. But I just think more of us that, you know, talk to GPs about it, then the more it'll become a bit more mainstream, and, you know, they'll sort of see the benefits, and, because they can be a little bit reluctant to sort of give it out. So, but I've always stayed on Nutrigestin, even though from Noosan, and then still now with my GP.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Can you request a brand?
I think you could. I think you'd be well within your rights to ask, wouldn't you?
Well, you certainly could ask, because then obviously you have that conversation with the pharmacist as well.
Yeah, I've never had any issues with my GP. They just give it to me, and that's just my NHS
GP.
GP.
They'll repeat the prescription, no problem. But I have had a different brand every time.
Yeah.
Because there was a shortage on YouTube.
That one, I know. I think because I've said it so many times on the podcast, it's like, Nutrigestin. I couldn't get it out. But I mean, but that in itself, because when I was in the depths and having the anxiety, when I found out that there was an estrogen, so I have the estrogel, the pump, when I found out there was a shortage of that, I was shitting myself, because I was just like, I don't want to go back to feeling how I felt. And so you have all of that going on, as well as dealing with how you're feeling, and plus taking something. And like we often say, you know, we're both kind of like, I don't even take paracetamol if I've got a cracking headache, you know. So going on HRT was a big thing for me. So, to then give you different stuff every time, that's, I've not actually heard that before.
Oh, no, definitely. Because when I first went on, they gave me a year's supply.
Yeah.
That was great.
Yeah.
Okay. And that's when the shortage came in. I was like,
oh, because you'd had it all.
Balance, on Instagram on Balance, loads of women complaining. I nearly was like, I've got some mine, because I had shitloads of it. But then the next one was this other one. Yeah. But each one I always look, I think they mainly give out the natural one now. Yeah. I don't think there's many synthetic versions anymore. Yeah. So it's the yams, isn't it?
Yeah, derived from yams, yeah.
So,
it's the yams.
It's the yams. As I see, I read so much information, and I can't retain any of it, or I can retain bits of it. Yeah. And then because my friends know that I'm actually quite banging the drum in that sense, to the point where they've probably had enough of me, because it doesn't matter if they come up, if we're in conversation and they say, "Oh, this is wrong with that." Is it your hormones? Or it's not your hormones. And I swear they just want to go, Kelly, will you just shut up? Not everything is based on the hormone, but so much is.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I was listening to you on the other day, someone had an itchy hand.
I know. How random is that?
I
know.
You would never put that down to your hormones.
No.
So, everything now that's wrong, I'm like, it's my hormones. I've got an imbalance. And I feel sorry for my daughter when she gets to that age.
But
sort your hormones out.
But at least she'll know.
Yes.
You know, there is that. I think the fact that you are banging the drum for it, at least, like we say that, don't we? Because, you know, at least our kids will be aware that if it happens to, won't happen to mine, I've only got boys, but it potentially would happen to partners or, you know.
Well, exactly. Yes. And, my son goes into, because I did have to explain it to him at what point, because I was still roller coastering. And so, and as you do, you have these conversations in the car. It's the only time you can have a conversation with children. Yeah. And I said, right, I need to explain to you why I'm being the way I'm being. And he just went, oh no. I was like, come on now. And I'm quite open with him. I tell him everything. Yeah. And so I just said, look, it's my hormones. I'm going through perimenopause. Like, what's that? And so I explained it all to him, and he's like, okay, can you just stop talking? Like, all right. And then later on, my husband was talking to him, and apparently he went up and said, so Mum's going mad, and we've all got to take cover. That's basically what
he got from that.
And of course, my husband was like, yes, that's exactly what
I'm reinforcing it, yes.
So
well summarised.
Yeah. Didn't need AI. Just a 15-year-old. He'll sum it up perfectly. So, but they have both been very good. Yeah. And I'm so much more aware of it that even I sometimes recognise if I'm going to kick off or just go off at something completely unnecessarily, I know now to sort of take myself away. Yeah. And tell everyone to leave me alone. Yeah. But it takes a while to get to that point.
It does, doesn't it?
It does, and it's almost like you have to get to the point before the trigger point, don't you? You kind of have to feel like, oh, I'm feeling like I'm about to go. I need to do something about it before I do blow. And that's a skill.
It is a skill.
Yeah.
I don't do it every time.
Yeah, me neither.
But I'm aware. So I think that's a bonus.
Yeah. And you can say sorry after the fact. I've said,
you can. You can.
I've
said sorry a few times.
Yeah, me too.
For being grumpy.
Yeah, really sorry I was grumpy today.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, yeah. I think we all know I was. So, Kelly, you were saying that when you went on to HRT, it worked well for the first 3 months.
Yes.
So then the symptoms started to come back a little bit.
Yeah.
So did you review it then with your GP? What happened at that point?
GP, the first GP, because I see a different one every time, because that's what it's like nowadays.
Mm-hmm.
The first one was brilliant. She was so good. She knew what I was talking about. She just said, which symptoms have you got? And I said, all of them. I've got them all. And just talked about it a bit. And she went, okay. Didn't want to do my bloods because I was ready, armed, because I'd done my research.
Yes.
And I've read all the stories about people being refused and fobbed off and put on antidepressants. So I was like, right, I'm going for HRT, I'm going to come out with it.
Yeah.
And she was like, I didn't need to do anything. She just went, yeah, that's fine, let's start you on HRT.
Oh, brilliant.
Yeah, thank God.
Really?
I was
Yeah.
gutted,
Yeah.
actually. I was
that
You're ready for a fight. What about this fire in my belly?
I wanted to get my rage out.
I mean, it's still ongoing because, like you, I want the testosterone.
Yeah.
And part of it is mainly for the clarity
Yes.
in my brain because libido, OVS, that's natural. But with the NICE guidelines, that's all it's based on.
Yeah, it is.
They don't acknowledge all the other benefits for testosterone. And partly because I'm like, why give me those two and that one? It's part principle.
Yeah, yeah.
Because you're only giving us half the cocktail. You're not giving us the good bit or the bonus bit. So when I was saying I wanted to go to Newson, because I went to see her tour that she did.
Oh, yes, yeah.
And it was brilliant.
Yeah.
It was a bit like being in a when you do a presentation and
yes,
she talked to
yeah.
the audience, but it was so good. She had a comedian on with her as well, which sort of lightened it. But yeah, so I went to see her because I've been following her for so long, and then I was like, do I do that? Because half of me thinks if I just quit it and go and do private, is that then not knocking on the door? Is that lessening the noise with GPs and the NHS? Because we're all getting so fed up of waiting, so we're going private. So I was a bit...
Yeah, I know.
Do you know what I mean?
I know exactly what you mean, and that's one of the reasons. Well, not the only reason, because obviously going private and having the testosterone every year comes with costs, which obviously I wouldn't incur going to my GP.
Yeah.
But we've had conversations, haven't we? And I've said to you, I just feel that if we don't keep banging on about it to our GPs, nurses, doctors, and stuff, then how are we going to get help other women? Having said that, if you bang the door and no one answers, then going to Newson helps you, and also or to another provider. But going to someone who will prescribe testosterone, they would then send a letter to your GP anyway, so it almost backs it up. So my GP wanted to have the letter from Newson. They send it anyway. Every time I go, they will send a letter. So that does back you up, which is a pain in the bum. But I have got other friends who have had to go to the gynecologist and stuff, and I think they've been prescribed there, but she might have actually have been. I'm just trying to think. Yeah, I think you're right. It's banging the drum, but also if you feel like you want to, have
but it's
that
not
element,
a cheap option though, is it? To go to the clinics.
No, it's not.
So, what was it? $250 just for the testosterone meet? Because you can have just a testosterone.
Can you? Because I went full on. Yeah. So I don't even know what the prices are now. But yeah, I'm sure you're right.
Yeah. If you can do it, go for it. Which I could, but I was just a bit. Because I've been referred. Yeah. Because they won't give testosterone at the GPs. So I've been referred to the menopause, whatever it is.
Okay.
And that was 4 months ago.
Okay.
And then a couple of weeks ago I got a text just saying, oh, you've been referred. We just want to make sure you still want your referral. Hit yes or no. I thought, I think I'll say yes.
I've waited this long.
Yeah. Stop stopping.
No.
And then I was back at the GP just last week, just to sort of review everything. And I asked her and said, if I go to a private clinic, will you automatically accept any other, like a testosterone prescription? Because I'd read that people had done that, gone back to the doctors and they've refused to do it. And she said yes, pretty much. They'll write us a letter and we pretty much will go with whatever they say. And then she said just make sure you go to a reputable one because there's a lot of dodgy ones out there.
Okay.
So I just put another hurdle in front of me.
Well, why not? Why not?
I know who I'm going to go to, but thanks for letting me know that because I wasn't aware. So everyone's must be jumping on some sort of bandwagon. I don't know.
Yeah.
But just for anyone, don't just go anywhere that they can do
it for you. Well, I know that all I can say is that my experience is that my GP will now do it, and that's through the letter that they have from Newson. They wanted to see the letter.
But I think one of the things that we found through having these conversations is there's no consistency.
No.
So it might be that case for you, but it won't be for somebody else. And it all depends on. I mean, we've had some really good experiences. We've heard really good experiences for some people about their GP's surgeries. We've had some not so good experiences, and it really the lack of consistency is such a pain in the bum. So you don't know what you're going to get until you start down the journey.
And you kind of feel lucky. That you did get something, which it shouldn't be like that.
Absolutely.
It
should just be entirely.
Yes.
I'm really lucky I got 2 out of the 3.
Yeah.
Now I'm fine for the 3rd. And I have tried testosterone.
Yeah.
Because I have a friend who does have it. And she gave me some of hers. Is it the Testim?
I don't know. Yeah, I've not seen that one.
So I have been using that. And I've absolutely loved it.
Really? You felt a difference?
My brain instantly came back after a week of using it.
That's incredible.
So, but I'm like rationing myself because I've only got 2 tubes left. So I'm rationing myself on it.
Yeah.
And I don't always remember to do it because I'm terrible with things like that.
Yeah.
I have to put a reminder in my phone to take my progesterone every 2 weeks or whatever. But massive difference.
Yeah.
So that made me want to just go and get it officially even more.
Yeah.
Even though my doctor was like, don't put all your eggs in one basket. Don't think it's going to be the cure. I'm like, okay, but it is.
You're feeling the difference.
It's not 100%, but from going from just estrogen and progesterone and then adding that in, there's a significant difference.
Yeah.
Massively.
Yeah, that's what helped me because the estrogen and progesterone didn't really touch the sides. And then like when they sort of added in the testosterone, I was just like, it took a couple of months for it to get into my system, but I think my levels were really low.
Yeah.
But when they then upped my dose to, I think I use the tester gel now. I started on the pretty pink Androfen, which smells beautiful and is imported from Australia.
I was going to say that's the one just for women, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
But it's also about 90 quid for a tube. Yeah, holy shit, yeah. So I started on that, and then my doctor said to me, just try and get, just try this one. It's a cheaper one, and that's the tester gel.
Okay.
So that's a little sachet where, and if a guy puts it on, I think they'd put the whole sachet on, but I think I use it over about 6 or 7 days and just put a teeny blob on the top of my thigh. But it literally, like then, I just felt like felt totally back in the room.
It's
like
bad, isn't it?
The anxiety went, the irrational thoughts, the panic attacks, everything just kind of like went away. I mean, it gradually, but then like once it had kind of all gone, it had all gone. And like now, if I feel a little bit like, when you kind of like feel the anxious bit coming, I can kind of breathe through it and it goes. Whereas I could almost not grab it before.
Yeah.
And that's what made me go, whoa, what's going on? Literally. Oh, don't we just love it, hey?
It's such fun.
So how have you found it at work? Because especially with the brain fog, how has it been at work? How has it been received? How have you been perceived, do you think?
Oh, okay. So luckily my boss, who is also a woman, was very understanding, and I've also been beating the drum at work as well, because we don't have a menopause policy, and I'm very open about it all. So if we're in meetings and I'm presenting and words just fail me, I'll just stand there and go, well, what am I saying? What's my word? Everyone?
Yeah.
Word's gone. Can
Brilliant.
someone me in?
Yeah.
And they're quite, and there was a good mixture of women and men in our sort of team, and we do have a bit of a laugh about it.
Yeah.
You have to.
Of course you
do. But yeah, and then I sort of pushed for more awareness of it, because I got talking to other women in different departments, and there was a bit of a competition at work where they wanted some learning management system competition, and pick something that we can all create, and then everyone in the company will do this learning management course. And I was like, other people were doing really important stuff that were to do with work. I was like, fuck it.
Love it! Love it!
It took me ages. It took me so long, and it was very amateur. But I put a bit of humour in, but I took all the stuff from Balance website. So I did it all officially. But just awareness, and it was just the basics. What's the difference between perimenopause and menopause? And I sent it out to like people who were working with me. Some of them were men, a lot of them were women. They all said, I had no idea there was a difference. They didn't know that. They all thought you had to finish your period before you could even contemplate being in that.
Yeah.
And I didn't win, obviously, because it was nothing to do with work.
Well, that's a grand shame.
No.
Yeah.
And then I got the video call to say, oh, I'm very sorry, but you didn't win, you didn't go through. And I was like, yes, very aware of that. Now, what are we going to do about it? And they said, oh, well, because, we felt we're not professionals, and we don't know the subject matter, fob off, basically, that we're not going to look at it as something. I just went, right, okay, left it. And they just kept banging the drum, but to lots of other people, and lots of other people have messaged me, really good that you're raising this, all women. And then one of them said she raised it because her boss, who's a man, she went to him and said, I'm really struggling. She'd done something at work that potentially could have lost them like loads of money, but she managed to catch it in time. But it was because of perimenopause, and he just didn't know what to do, because there's no training in work to even give him any sort of guidance on what he was supposed to do.
Yeah, so
and there's none of that. So it's all well and good having a menopause policy and just reading it, but there's no real awareness. Like, okay, as a manager, what am I supposed to do? How am I supposed to help? How do I support this person? There's literally nothing. So everyone's just winging it. So I am still banging on at them, and I just keep dropping hints here and there. And when we have one of those surveys that goes out, I just put the menopause policy all over it.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Because it's just so frustrating.
But that's a really good point though, Kelly, about how somebody manages through, like, if there is an issue like that. Because a lot of menopause policies are, you can go out and have 5 minutes if you need a bit of fresh air, or you can have a fan on, or you can have that very basic structures, I guess, in place. But actually to look at a policy that really does help the managers and the leaders work through something with somebody, so they feel that they're being supported.
Yeah. And
not just, you can have the window open if you need to. If you need to have a bit of extra time over lunch because you're having a hot flush. That almost seems really quite reductive, doesn't it? In some cases. It is minimal.
Which is great, as long as you've got something, but it needs to be built on it. It's almost like they ticked a box. So they did create, I think they bought one in the end, and they did do an LMS, but it wasn't mandatory that everyone had to do. It was just there if you wanted to. So in my department I made it a mandatory thing that everyone had to do, and it's quite a good one. And it is about awareness. It's 10 times better than the one I put together. But that's where it stopped. It was almost like,
we've dealt with it now.
Tick that box.
Yeah, she'll be happy now.
Yeah. I
have a rage.
It's the beginning. I'm not finished yet.
Yeah.
But I feel like loads of people if I hadn't started talking to people and raising it, I don't know if that would have come out. But I think a lot of people mentioned it.
Yeah.
And that's why.
But I think doing things like what you're doing in the workplace and with all your friends and, you know, anyone else that you can probably talk their ear off because we're the same, you know. And I've got one of my friends, and actually we have it as well, where like our husbands, when they get together, and Tom's the same, my husband's the same with his other friend, they'll be like, how long will it be until they start talking about and we're just like, fuck off, we'll talk about it whenever we want. But actually, even just having those conversations, well, those people, imagine if you'd not done it, but now imagine that you have done it, all of those people who have got wives, girlfriends, partners, sisters, mums, whatever, who are starting to go through any of those things, at least they could perhaps turn around to them and say, you don't think it could be perimenopause? Someone said something about something pause at work, you know.
Yeah.
Because I didn't even know perimenopause was a word.
No, I didn't.
The same. And so at least by having the word perimenopause, that they could like speak to their girlfriend, mum, sister, whoever, it's giving them the knowledge.
Yeah.
And that is how we bang the drum.
I know.
I think we just have to keep banging and banging.
We do. And I need to learn how to retain information. Because people do start to ask me now.
Yeah.
Right, and I'm like, no, I can't remember what this bit is, or and just so many little questions, and I'll have the answer, but I might get it the wrong way around. So I always say,
come back to you.
Go on the Balance website, or I'll just give them somewhere to go.
That's the best thing to do.
Yeah, it is the best thing. It is the best thing.
The wrong information.
Yeah.
Just signpost them to the service that will help them.
Because apart from anything else, we're not experts.
No.
And we've said this before, we're not experts because we're all so very different and we're all having a unique experience. So it's all right you answering the question from your point of view, but it might be completely different from their perspective.
Yeah.
So, yeah, the best thing to do is to signpost people to places like the Balance app and things.
Yeah.
So that's really good. They've got some great articles on there.
Yeah, and it's free, isn't it?
Yeah.
Just download it on your phone and because that's got the symptom tracker, hasn't it?
Yes.
Because I mean that in itself. But I think you were saying that I said to you, there's about 30 odd symptoms on it in a couple of episodes ago, and you were like, well, there's 60 something now. I mean, you know, I bet we could add a few to it.
Oh, absolutely. It just grows and grows.
But, you know, it's one of those things that I think if you can just keep a track on it, just helps you have those conversations with the GP.
Yeah.
Doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. So are you doing anything else to sort of like look after you and your well-being and everything else apart from HRT?
Well, I know I should. And I did go down the exercise route. I did.
Yeah.
And that was mainly because of COVID weight. I think we all had a bit of extra holiday weight, shall we call it?
Big holiday.
So I did go back and I did like body pump and things like that, which I absolutely loved. And the odd bit of yoga here and there. And that's when I was on 3 days a week. Then I went up to 4 days a week. And if I'm going to exercise, I have to do it in the morning. I can't do a full day's work and then go, I'm just going to go to the gym.
For fun.
I just want to eat and lie. Usually after working, even though I sit at a desk all day. Literally, I just want to go from that to that.
But not to look at the screen and do strategic stuff or whatever it is.
Yeah, so I've totally fallen off the wagon, and I have noticed the difference with not doing it. Just with strength, I wanted to do strength training because that's what we're supposed to do now. Which I'm more than happy with.
Yes,
I'm all right with not running up and down or getting my heart rate going. That's all right. I've done that. I've been there. I don't need to do that anymore. I'm quite happy. And I do like the yoga, but I'm just not consistent with it. And I do need to get back into it. I can't be arsed. I just can't. The motivation's just not there. And that's not perimenopause. That is me. It always has been.
But it is nice. What do I do?
You're going to tell me you go out and run every morning or something?
No. I did the Catch 5K like probably everybody else in the UK and abroad. And I did it quite consistently to the point where I was going and running, 5K 3-4 times a week, and I did do that. And then I fell off that wagon, and then I got to week 3 or 4 of it, and then I fell off it at that stage. And I don't really run very often anymore, but I like to walk.
Mm-hmm.
So I do quite a bit of walking, and I do go to yoga.
Mm-hmm.
And I do love going to yoga. And then I have some like really nice, I say really nice, I'm assuming they're doing something good. I have like a really good multivitamin and collagen. What are you laughing at me? I have a really nice multivitamin. I have a well-researched multivitamin, is what I mean. It's one that I've looked into. Lou's still laughing. So I have like one that I've done a lot of research on, and like, you know, it's a decent multivitamin. And then I take a magnesium supplement.
Oh, okay.
But that's about it. Apart from, the collagen. Is the collagen working? How long have I been taking that? You know, the Ancient and Brave.
Oh, you're on the Ancient and Brave.
Yes.
Looking at that.
Yeah. Well,
are you noticing a difference?
I don't know. I can't work it out. But how long has it been that I've been on it? About 2 months, 2.5 months. It's not long.
What are you expecting to see?
Well, I've had. I found that my hair was getting a lot thinner.
Okay.
In perimenopause, and so my sister and a couple of other friends, within the space of about 10 days, had all said, without me prompting it, had all said, "Oh, the Ancient and Brave, God, my hair, I've had extensions in for so long, I want to take them out because my hair's getting so thick." So I was like, ooh, because of course then my ears prick up. And then someone else went, "Oh, my hair's so gorgeous on this collagen." And I was like, "Oh, which one is it?" Same again. And then someone else mentioned it again, and I was like, there's a theme here. I must try it. So normally I do loads of research on it, but I just started taking it. But yeah.
But I didn't get on very well with it.
But you didn't get on with it, did you?
No.
Did you want it for your hair as well? You don't look like you need to worry about your hair.
No, I think it was more about, I feel like everything's saggy.
Yes.
Like my skin and, you know, and that kind of thing.
I
like,
found that in these bits here. And
Yeah.
When you take
Jowly
a
bit,
selfie,
yeah.
So I think so I just thought I'd try it more than anything, but I just got really bad indigestion with it.
Oh no!
So Michelle got all mine.
Yes, I did really well.
So which one did you do though? Because I've been on the website and it's a minefield of which one you do.
Yeah, so I did the vegan one.
Okay.
They only have one vegan one, I believe.
Yeah.
So I took that one, which was really nice actually.
Like a berry.
It's a berry one, and I used to have that in my yogurt in the morning. It tasted yummy, and I actually quite miss it now.
Really, it's nice.
But
Sorry.
it didn't. it just didn't agree with me.
Yeah.
So you know, it's just one of those things, isn't it? So so I've stopped taking it.
Yeah.
So we'll see how you get on with it.
Yeah. So I was taking the marine one, so the fish one before then. But my sister and the other people that I was talking to, they were taking the bovine one, the meaty one. But I don't know if I've noticed anything, but a few people have said you've got to wait 3 or 4 months to notice any improvement.
Okay.
Obviously, you know, I look fantastic.
I'll keep listening.
See if anything. Oh, Michelle, you look radiant today.
Gorgeous today. I've got extra makeup on today.
We're doing video podcast now.
One for the future.
One day, maybe.
I keep saying, you know.
But it's really hard to be consistent because I think I still feel very up and down in my cycle. Mm-hmm. So like if I feel great, like the first week that I feel great and I'm, you know, like really dynamic and want to do loads of things, I can do some sort of exercise routine, but by the time I'm coming up from period, I feel like, I'm not going to do any of that stuff. Yeah. And then I can't be consistent, and then that's it. I'm like done then.
And
it's really hard.
Yes.
Like you've never done it before.
Yeah.
What the hell is that all about?
I know.
Oh my God,
I wish I could get over that bit though, because it's painful.
It doesn't exist, especially when it comes to body pump, because it's like you've never lifted. Just 2 weeks off.
Yeah, so I find that difficult. I've yet to. I walk every day just because I've got a dog and I have to walk her every day. So that is really my only exercise, and I would really like to do more. But yeah, I do. I'm not consistent with yoga either. So I do go to yoga, but I'm not consistent with that. It's finding something that fits in with your routine.
Yeah, because it's time, isn't it? Yeah.
And my kids are still at the age where I'm still running them around to different clubs throughout the week, and I don't think I sit down till around 9, 9:30 most nights, because after you've done dinner, then they've got to go somewhere, pick them up,
It's exhausting.
It is.
It is, isn't it?
It is. It really is.
And it doesn't mean we love anybody any less, but it is
exhausting.
knackering.
Yeah.
The amount of running around and the different meals you have to do, and
yeah,
you know,
and then you don't want to feel guilty for finding it really annoying. Well, my friends, my kids are the youngest, so I'm seeing them not having to do what I'm doing. So I'm seing the other side.
Yes,
the light
yes.
At the end of the tunnel.
And there is
I
light.
want it now.
You've got to hang on a little bit longer.
Treasure these moments.
But I want that.
But cook your own food. Drive your own car at 9. No, because I've noticed like some of the bigger two, they do cook, you know. So that's been really nice, and I think that's only come about though through perimenopause, when they saw me like or like not great.
No,
then they started to
eat.
yeah.
They did it for themselves.
Well, I think my husband probably bribed them, because I think he was like, shit, I can't cook every day. I've run out of different recipe ideas.
Yeah.
I nearly forgot then. I was going to say menu cards. I've run out of menu cards for today, boys. We're on beans on toast. But yeah, it is a lot. And you know, I used to joke when I first had babies, you know, oh, you don't get a book with it, do you? You don't get a book with having a baby, you know, that sort of like says this might happen or that might happen, or you're going to feel absolutely knackered, and then have perimenopause, and you know, yeah,
Feel even more knackered.
Yeah.
It just feels like you're just trying to navigate each day as it comes, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does, doesn't it?
Yeah, and if I don't have any sort of plan, I will do nothing.
And isn't it beautiful?
Yeah, it is. But then at the end of the day, I go, oh, shit, I was supposed to do that today. Because if I'd not put it in like today, Fridays are my day off.
Yeah.
I say day off. It's my day off from my paid work.
Yes.
Then I have to do running
all the
around
chores.
and all the other stuff.
Yeah.
But if I do not put, right, I'm going to do this, this and this, I will probably do nothing.
Yeah.
Because I've not pre-planned it in my head. And then I just stand in the middle of the house and just go, right. Surrounded by so much stuff to do. Literally, it's staring me in the face. I'm very good at ignoring all of that.
Yeah.
But that's a skill. That is a great skill.
It can become overwhelming.
Yeah, it can.
You don't know where to start, do
No.
you, sometimes?
Sometimes, yes. Or I'm literally just ignoring it.
I like the ignoring it. I do as well.
Yeah.
Does anybody else have it where you start one job, and so I'll do something like
run the tap,
run the tap and start washing up, and then there'll be something that I see on the sink that perhaps needs to go into the utility room, so I'll take it in there. Then I'll take the washing out the tumble dryer, take it upstairs, put it away, see something else that needs to go in another room, and then eventually remember that I was doing the washing up.
Yeah. I do that all the time.
That is new. This is so new for me, because I used to be quite focused. I used to be able to just do one thing, and these are obviously just house boring jobby bits and stuff. But I used to be able to just do one thing and then move on. I'd be like, oh, I need to just hoover through, do this, do that. But these days, I literally do a little bit of everything and then a little bit of everything.
I think I've always been like that, though. I think because, like, say, for example, I needed to do something in the garden.
Yeah.
Went into the shed, couldn't find the thing I needed in the shed, so emptied the shed out and started sorting out the shed. So my poor husband, I was like messaging him, just to warn you, when you come home, I have emptied the shed. I am sorting out the shed, so this is what we're doing today. Because I couldn't find it, and I couldn't start the thing I wanted to do because I needed to get the thing out. And that is what I do. I do that quite often.
Yeah, me too. And then I'll get into something, and then as soon as my husband walks through the door, he knows. Because there'll be a pile of his stuff that I've collected that's just been left
I do that.
Slowly getting more rage as I go around finding things, and it's just dumped. I'm like, put it somewhere. That doesn't live there. And it's all because he has a great way of, like, he's a bit the same. He'll start something, we'll buy something, and something will come through the post. Right, I'll put that there, and I'm standing there going, but that's not.
It's like my poor husband gets. Is that where that's going to stay? In which case we'll go, no.
I'm glad I'm not the only one.
No, you're not. And I do it too. Because my husband, he makes things out of wood, like reclaimed wood. And so what he'll do is he works down, he'll do some stuff in the cabin outside. and then slowly things will start to come into the house.
Yeah.
So it's cold, so I'm going to varnish in the kitchen, or this needs posting, so I'm just going to bring it in here so I can get it ready for next week. And I just need to chisel this, or I need to drill that. And then before you know it, half the workshop's in the kitchen. So I do that. I get one of his boxes and I just put everything in it, and then I put it by the back door, and I'm like, please take it back to the cabin. And then if he doesn't do it direct, like there and then, I'm like, please take it to the cabin. And I'm like, where does this arsey rage thing come from? Because I'm fine, I can see it there for weeks, and then all of a sudden I'm like, I need it away. Yes. I need it out of my view. I don't want to see it.
Yeah, see, I do that as well. And it's bizarre, isn't it? There becomes a moment at which I feel like everywhere is just too messy.
Much. Yes.
And I need to get some order. And whether that's in my brain or whether it's the house, I need some order. Yeah. And so you need order too.
Yes.
So we all need order. So it is just a case of like, leave me alone if I'm getting on a cleaning phase, because there's something I'm having to work through emotionally.
Yeah, and I don't want anyone to come back home when I'm cleaning, because all of a sudden there's a mug goes down, a set of keys, a wallet, like a hat, and I guess it's the same for you guys. And you're just like, they're my clean surfaces.
I mean, what? Just clean the house, and you're here. But and sometimes you'll go, I don't know if you do this, this might just be me, but if you've cleaned somewhere and it all looks so lovely, and then you go out of a room and come back, it all looks so lovely, and then within minutes it's doesn't gone anymore.
Definitely do that. Definitely do that.
And I have done that with my husband. He only works down the road, so he comes home every lunchtime for his lunch. And when I'm working, it's like we're both I work from home, he works down the road. And he knows to just come in, get what he wants, and then bugger off upstairs. Do not disturb me when I'm working from home. That's fine. But then when I've had a day of cleaning or clearing and stuff, I have rang him and said, do not come home for lunch. Go sit down.
I love that.
Do not come to your home.
It is much better for you if you do not come home.
And is that because of the crumbs and the knife and the plate and the stuff?
He'll stop me from doing it. He'll talk to me, and then I'll lose my flow. I'll forget what room I'm in, and then I'll probably sit down. And then once you sit down, that's it. I'll still be there till it's time to pick the kids up.
I think that's brilliant communication, Kelly. I think you're communicating your needs very effectively there. I think that's wonderful.
Very assertive.
So speaking about being assertive, I feel like I've become more assertive as I've gotten older. I was never really very assertive.
No, me neither.
I was, I'm becoming, and with my rage, I'm more assertive now. I think that's come with this transition of life, whether it's just an age thing or because of perimenopause, I don't know. So I'd be interested to hear what your thoughts are on that.
I've always been pretty assertive.
Okay.
And probably more to you're either passive, assertive, aggressive. That's the 3 levels. I have to do this at work. So we did like an assertiveness course at work, and there's a little test that you take asking you loads of questions. And then you find out what you are at the end.
Perhaps need to do that test.
So I'm like assertive, borderline aggressive. And over the years, I've managed to learn when not to go over the line.
Okay.
It was mainly based around customer services and how you treat people and all stuff like that. So I have always been an assertive person. And now I'm having to again tame the aggressive side now going through this transition and sort of I've never had a problem with delegating or telling people what I think which has never always worked in my favour.
But it does feel like that we say it quite often, like the fuck it phase, isn't it? This time of life, it's like you either like me or you don't, and I don't really mind.
Yeah, because I'm just busy doing stuff. So many other things. It doesn't matter so much. But there was a thing of being young. You wanted people to like you more, didn't you?
I wonder as well if it's because, we're kind of we're going to be 50 this year.
Yeah.
And I'm very conscious that I might only have another 30 years.
50? 57?
Well, maybe another 30 good years, so I've got to make that count. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it could be. It could be down to that, couldn't it?
Yeah, and there's definitely more awareness of stuff like that now. So we all look forward to one time retiring, but I quite like to be able to do it while I can still do stuff.
Yeah,
I
So
agree.
I'm aware of that.
Yeah.
And we went away to Porto a few weeks ago. My husband was 50 last year.
Yeah.
So I got us a weekend away. We went to Porto, which is gorgeous, by the way.
Yeah.
Didn't get a chance to go. But we bumped into, we went on a tour, as you do. We went on a port cellar wine tour.
Nice.
Yeah, that was the only tour I was going to do.
That was a good tour.
Alcohol at the end of it. We're having that one. But we got talking to another couple from Canada, and they were a little bit older than us, and they were still working, but they were they were visiting their son because he was travelling around the world. So they just nipped over from Canada to see how it was going. Great. But then there was people there, they were telling us about people who they know of their age that are travelling, but they're struggling because they can't go and do all the things that they want to do because body just won't let them.
Yeah.
So I did do travelling when I was younger. I had the most amazing time.
Yeah.
And I really look forward to doing that again.
Yes.
But I won't be bungee jumping.
No.
And, doing all those weird and wonderful
Crazy things that
crazy
we all
things.
did. They were
I'd be
great
lucky
fun.
if I can just walk.
Yeah. I just want to see things.
I
That's
just
fine.
wanna,
Yeah.
meet
Seeing things
people.
is, yeah, definitely.
But you want to be able to enjoy it, don't you?
Of course you do.
That's
That's the
the
worrying
point,
thing.
yeah.
So I'm sort of hell-bent on, oh God, that will never happen. I'd love to do it quite soon, but it's not a possibility. But I just want to be able to do it where I can go off and enjoy and, physically
Yes.
be able to last longer than, I don't have to go for a nap in the afternoon. So I can do, actually, I love a nap.
Oh, do you know what? As you say, thinking, I'd really love a nap.
That's the best thing ever. This is ideal for napping.
Oh, it's gorgeous. The sun on you.
sun comes
I know.
out.
I know.
Yeah.
But it's mainly just physically being able to do it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think that's the worry around it. But I'll give it a damn good go.
Absolutely right. Absolutely right.
Yeah.
I think we're all going to, aren't we? We've said what was it in the Haggitude book about reimagining the second half of life.
Yes.
For like women of our sort of age.
Yeah.
And just doing the things that you want to do, that you feel called to do, or that makes your heart sing and makes you happy. And
Yes, it's following the joy, isn't it?
Yeah.
Following things that you're interested in, that you want to do, and just doing it.
yeah, just do the thing.
Just do the thing.
Oh, well, it's been absolutely lovely to have you in today, Kelly.
I
I know, it's gone absolutely it has absolutely flown by. But thank you ever so much for coming in. It's been so lovely to talk to you.
We really appreciate you sharing your experiences.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Definitely one of them.
Thank you for tuning in to today's episode of Wild, Wise and Curious. If you'd like to be a guest on the show, feel free to email us at info@wildwiseandcurious.com or reach out on our socials at wild_wise_and_curious. And don't forget to hit subscribe so you never miss an episode. Stay curious and we'll see you next time.